and one of the matchmakers feel might be primed for some tag team championship gold. We're about to see the proof. Here is Bulldog Reigns and Tank put it on the line against the new team of Brandon P. and Jeff Lewis here at version 5.0.
Well, Brandon P. has had a stroke of bad luck when it comes to tag team partners. Originally, he's decided that he wanted to team with Chaos. While Scott Cage was injured, they had very successfully defeated the champions, and it was a title defense, and Brandon P. decided he was going to team with Jeremy V. Well, Jeremy V. was in and out of the tag team division because he thought that Chaos was out without a partner due to Scott Cage's permanent injury. Well, Getz Enterprises has now disposed of Chaos behind the scenes, and he's got to go to Jeff Lewis. Poor Brandon P. doesn't know his head from his ass when it comes to a tag team partner because he's had to change him so many times. And yes, Jeff Lewis is a hell of an athlete. Yes, Brandon P. is a hell of an athlete, but he has not worked with him. This is a last-minute decision. They're not familiar with each other, and while both have been successful, they have not been successful as a tag team, and their opponents obviously have, or they wouldn't be the Wildside Tag Team Champs.
Oh, God, my brain hurts, Dan. But regardless, sometimes magic can take place the first time a tag team meets on up with each other. It is the first time for Brandon P. and Jeff Lewis. This may be the night. It certainly is the night where a lot of eyes are on Wildside, the 4th anniversary show. We thank you for joining us. Bulldog Reigns and Tank are hoping to emerge with the tag team titles. I mean, Getz wouldn't want it any other way. But Jeff Lewis and Brandon P. are going to try their darndest, and that is considerable indeed to get those tag team championships here tonight.
Flapjack by Lewis and Pete. Big knee drop by Jeff Lewis.
Now that's a kick out. Bulldog Reigns built like a fire plug. Man, that thick upper body disguises an awful lot of power. And you can't even figure this guy out. This guy's a complete lunatic, so naturally he teams with Tank.
Yeah, he's in good company. Look at his tag team partner. 2 nutcases, but the tandem has been successful. They are Wildside Tag Team Champions and a hell of a dominant tag team. 2 veterans, 2 brawlers, 1 mat technician, and Tank, a guy that can literally attack you from all angles. A hell of a technical wrestler and can brawl. Bulldog Reigns, one of the best brawlers wrestling has seen in the last 20 years when it comes to just pure brawling. And that's a hell of an attribute to have in tag team wrestling especially, and the countless years of experience they have combined with the dirty underhanded tactics of Getz and his experience makes for a championship combo.
That it does. Jeff Lewis ducks Tank's forearm, did not duck Bulldog Reigns. And double team time on Jeff Lewis. And hoisting Jeff Lewis. But Brandon P. in with a forearm to break up that pin attempt.
Tank and Bulldog working together here. Working well, that's why they are the Wildside Tag Team Champions. Tank charges, big forearm shot on Jeff Lewis.
The crowd still buzzing. Earlier on, we saw Ray Gordy become the new Wildside Junior Heavyweight Champion.
And what about the most significant event on the card? And it wasn't even a wrestling match, and that's saying something. Steve Martin returning as NWA representative. He is seizing control of NWA Wildside. He said that the Wildside officials were deemed unfit to run the organization by the NWA, and that low-life bastard made a power play with all of those idiots in the NWA board of directors, and now we have a severe situation on our hands.
And that it is, and I'm hoping it's not a turn for the worst. But right now, sir, all eyes are on the team of Jeff Lewis and Brandon P. Can they wrestle those tag team belts away from the clammy grips of Getz Enterprises? I think they got a good chance of it.
Brandon P. he's trying his damnedest to fight against the champions.
And a pair of drop kicks do some damage. Oh my God, but Tank is almost unstoppable.
Reverse knee to the face, STO. Tank's got Brandon P. What's he gonna go for here? Submission hold, inverted crossface.
by taking that head and jerking it forward, jamming the head of Brandon P into his chest. Oh, doesn't do his spine any favors, nor does a kick in the back.
Snapmare take over rear chin lock applied by Tank. He is methodically working down Brandon P.
Oh, dear. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but the two massive Dobbins brothers, Jason and Chad, last time we saw, they stormed off from Al Getz. And Al Getz at first was happy to see them. Al is putting some distance between him and the big Dobbins boys. Seems to be, I don't think everything is all real cushy in Al Getz Enterprises at the moment. But let's not ignore this matchup here, as Brandon P is trying with all his life and his limb to get those tag team titles away from Tank and Bulldog Reigns.
Well, ironically, they wouldn't take the orders of Getz, but they're listening to Tank.
Wait a second. Oh, dear. Now, did Jason Dobbins want to clock Tank or Brandon P?
Well, Bulldog Reigns was in at the last split second.
Yeah, no kidding, the last split second. And Al Getz is inquiring as to what the Dobbins boys are up to. And the look on Jason Dobbins' face in particular implies that he's not out here at Al Getz's behest. And the Dobbins boys are walking off with furrowed brows. The plot thickens.
Tag made into the wily Bulldog Reigns.
And Brandon P has been on the receiving end and an awful lot of punishment for the Wildside Tag Champs, but still able to get a shoulder up in the nick of time. And Jeff Lewis standing on the apron. He's fresh and ready to get going.
Jeff Lewis had an amazing winning streak here in Wildside until the Dark City Soldiers cost him that a couple of weeks ago on Wildside television. But Brandon P now able to get an upper hand on Bulldog Reigns.
Brandon P only within a few feet of the tagging hands. And Jeff Lewis waiting with bated breath for Brandon P just to outstretch that hand, and bingo, there it is.
P's taking a hell of a beating here.
Yeah, he has.
Lewis now firing back.
Lewis sending Tank into the turnbuckles. Doing likewise with Bulldog Reigns. Begging an assist from Brandon P. Hope Brandon's up for the task. I think he just might be. Fists are flying into the bald heads of Tank and Bulldog Reigns. Oh! Tank just hoisted P. Oh my God.
And there's the power breaker. Champions retain.
Wrestling fans are winners and still the NWA Wildside Tag Team Champions, Tank and Bulldog Reigns.